how you know you have amazing friends? It's Saturday morning. They haven't even eaten breakfast or had coffee yet. And everybody's already been harvesting watermelons. This is what Dragon makes you do.
What does it make you do?
Caleb, Scotty, and watermelons. These are Charleston Grays. We are super excited to finally start getting those out of this other half of the watermelon patch. And then these darker color ones here are Black Diamond. They are similar to Sugar Baby, but they are larger in size than Sugar Babies are. These Charleston Grays, we tried one a week ago and they were super delicious. So I think we're gonna have fun selling those and also eating them. And oh my goodness, these boys have been busy this morning. They also managed to pull all of these out. So this is awesome. Great way to start the Saturday. Gladiolas have come to the end of their season, but I think that these guys brought a lot of joy to a lot of people this year. We have some really gorgeous colors. Definitely can't wait to try some of these again. This one here, I believe, was called Guinea. It was the first one to bloom this year. We did a lot of home deliveries of our gladiolas. Had a lot of people that came by requesting them, and these lasted for quite a long time. This green one right here also too was one of our new colors that we tried this year. We were super excited about, so we were happy to have that. And visiting us from Scranton are our friends Caleb and Scott. Scott with Northeast Pennsylvania Garden Patch. That's NEPA Garden Patch on Instagram. So, how's it looking today?
It looks fantastic.
Great.
We haven't been down in a while.
They helped us harvest watermelons this morning. You know, if you visit the farm, you're gonna do some work, but these guys are no strangers to work. So we are always happy to see them. They help plant a lot of this stuff earlier on in the season, and now you get to see the fruits of your labor.
I love it.
Caleb accidentally burst a irrigation line. We could not find it to fix it, and it didn't matter. So whatever we planted did not die, Caleb. You can exhale now. This is our first chance to catch a break today. We have been so busy. The bouquets are almost sold out. There's only one left. There are a few petals missing on this one, so usually when it gets down to this type of bouquet, we gift it to somebody who comes along, but you can see things have been selling. This table was completely jam-packed with trays. We've had to shift everything down as some of the trays got empty. Watermelon samples have been doing their job. You see the apples are almost gone. Wax beans a lot of people have not had before, but we just like eating these guys raw and they're delicious. Bell pepper's almost gone. Cucumber's almost gone. The low acid tomatoes almost gone. Regular beefsteak tomatoes are dwindling. Even these first time try for a lot of folks honey nut squash that are smaller and similar to butternut squash but sweeter. Everybody's game to give those a try and roast them. Zucchinis always sell out really well here. Green ones especially. Acorn squash today, not so much. but we're feeling good about it. What do you think, Dragon?
Very good, very
come-
good. It was a busy one. We came hour late, so because last time it was slow, and as soon as we got here, we had a line of people waiting for us to set up. So
Somebody was in the parking lot waiting, and before we pull anything off, ask how long will it take us to set up.
so we're almost done. What is it?
Almost 2.
And we have about 20 minutes left.
Are you coming back next week?
We are not.
What? We're not
week.
coming
We gotta
back next
butcher
week?
chickens at home. It's a butcher weekend, so that's going to be another busy. We're still going to be open Sunday, so whenever we butcher on Fridays, package on Friday evening, and then fresh chicken is sold at the farm Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But usually by Sunday afternoon, most of the chicken is gone. So we'll see you guys Sunday on the farm.
No, you heard it from the boss. All right, everybody. I'm just the camera guy. So all of this produce is disappearing. The back of the truck over here. We felt like we needed another table today because we had sweet potatoes as well today. We also have regular potatoes, and look at this watermelon. It's kind of sad to see that it's almost gone because I've barely had any watermelon out of this batch, and it's like the best batch. So we're gonna have to get some more of that. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. You never disappoint us. Hi, Bella. How are you? How you doing, Belly? It is Monday afternoon. We took today off once again, but it's always productive even when the day does not involve customers in the farm being open. We got another free refrigerator today, this time from our wonderful neighbors across the street. Chris and Zach gave us this fridge. They just downsized, and this guy is still working and needed a new home, so they thought of us, and we absolutely appreciate it. Got my water here, so now I'm going to get this guy cleaned up and get it ready to be plugged in on Refrigerator Row. And we are in business. Fridge is cleaned out, plugged in, light is on. So we'll let this baby do its job and get cold overnight. I'll come back tomorrow and give it a check. And I'm sure it will get a thumbs up. Good morning, Dragon.
Good morning.
What's going on here? That was unconventional.
Very unconventional. So with high summer heats, our meat birds out on the pasture were not putting enough weight as much as I would like to. We were supposed to butcher last week. We didn't. We postponed it for a week. Unfortunately, they put a delay on these birds. So these birds are supposed to go to those tractors that were supposed to be butchered last week. So now they don't have room, and we have a new batch of chicks coming in tomorrow. So we need to free up brooder space. And these guys are pasture ready. We just don't have tractors for them. So for 3 days. So they're gonna spend next 3 days here before they go out on the pasture.
So today everybody got a little walk from the brooder on over to the pen in our big barn instead of their traditional escort out to the pasture with Bella, but that will come later this week. I know, Bella, this was not what you expected, but you always have to be flexible on the farm. Tuesday evening, and we are starting to take down our Jubilee watermelon patch. We had an amazing harvest off of this, but now it is time to prep this part of our garden for fall cabbage. We have cabbage starts that are already here, so now it's time to get all of these vines pulled out. I think one of the surprising things has been to see just how big some of these roots are when you pull them out of the ground. Here's one right here that Dragon is taking with him. I mean, look at that. This is from a seed to this humongous root right here. So that's where we've been getting all of our beautiful Jubilees all season. How was this process this year, Dragon? Oh my gosh, look at that root. That's insane.
So plastic, it's good. It suppressed the weeds compared to the other side. That portion worked fantastically. However, now we have to clear it and pull it like this versus that side we can just till it in the ground. So can't win.
Nope.
So we'll see. I mean, I liked what it did for the ground. We'll see how ground looks underneath. Should be nice and keeps the ground fertile as well. Doesn't wash stuff off, but we'll see. I'll show them the squash bugs.
Oh, squash bugs are kind of everywhere. I guess probably need to pull back
Just pull it right here.
a fresh layer. This is what you battle kind of early on. Oh, right here. Here's a whole host of them. Squash bugs right there falling. These are what go through and damage all of your pumpkins and watermelons. Also too, vine crops tend to get infested with them, so it's important to try to get ahead of them as much as you can. Of course, we do everything here organically, which makes it a little bit challenging. Lucky for us, these watermelon grow relatively fast, so they were able to overcome them with their growth and still give us a healthy yield this year.
I don't know if the watermelons are susceptible to them. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Now towards the end of the season, they can start damaging them. But it seems like Kevin said, they stay ahead of them. Even with the cucumber beetles and the squash bugs, they do well. Or maybe it's this variety that is just immune to it. So we'll see. We'll keep doing this Jubilee definitely.
All right. The sun is hanging mighty low in the sky, isn't it? So we're gonna see how much more of this we can get finished before time to call it quits for dinner. Look at the insanity of all of these squash trucks here. I mean, it's just ridiculous how many there are. Look at this nest right here.
Almost feels like ground is moving.
Well, we're farming now, my mom would say. It's after 8 o'clock now, so I think we have probably done enough for today. This patch still has quite a few watermelons that are left in it. We will go through and see what might be still salvageable, but we have pulled all the vines out except for this itty bitty spot down here, which probably would take us another 15 to 20 minutes or so, but I think we'd rather get some rest, go inside, have a little dinner. We've also been calling up all of our friends who have chickens and telling them to come over and grab some melons as treats for their chickens, because we know that their chickens will appreciate them just as much as ours do. And this is where it's going to end for today. Beautiful sunset happening behind me, so it was nice to at least be outside this evening working and enjoying that as well. See you tomorrow. Morning, everybody. We have a little bit of chicken confusion this morning because Dragon and I moved the pen around. So typically we will move this coop once a week when it's on our big pasture, which is where it has been most of its life. But because of all of the summer heat, we've had them down here in our shaded area, and it's been in this same spot now for the last 2 weeks. And as you can see, the ground is pretty much picked clean here. So we wanted to give them some fresh space to forage. So we simply extended the fence and moved it down. So now they get access to all of this brush over here. Looks like these ladies have already found something that they're fighting over this morning. But they have a new play space. All of this overgrown grass here will probably be pretty much picked clean in the next week or so. If this is your first time joining us and you're wondering what is going on with all those tires, This was previously a go-kart track that the previous owners for this property had built. So the tires were the outline for the track here. The chickens have been doing an amazing job at clearing this space out so that we can get better access to all these tires, put them in a pile, and get them to a recycling facility. And one day, this will be the space for our pond. How are the ladies working out, Dragon?
Good. A little tricky this morning because we have water access we have to keep where it's at because our water hose, that's as far as it reaches, is 300 feet from our furthest water hydrant. So water access stayed where it's at over there, so we have a kind of triangular shape of this run. We have a couple more days, I think next week, or 90s. So we didn't want to put them back in the pasture yet. So we decided to give another week here and let them work on this ground.
They are slowly making their way over into the area. They at least found the feed, so first things first, go to what we're familiar with, and then I'm sure if we come back out and check on these ladies later on today, everybody will be over here exploring their new digs. One final step before we can move on for the day is to refresh our nesting boxes with straw. We sell our eggs to our customers unwashed, and one way that we're able to do that is by keeping the nesting boxes clean. So about every other move, so every 10 to 14 days or so, we come through, we empty out all of the old bedding, and then we refresh the boxes with new straw. The other thing you have to make sure that you do is come through at night, and if you see any of your hens that are sleeping in the nesting box, we kick them out. There's a lot of noise in there because we forgot to do this, and the girls want to get to work, so they're waiting around for us to get finished. Look at that line. So I should probably get to helping Dragon so they can get back to doing their job.
So with the golf balls.
Oh, golf balls. You want to talk about those? Golf balls we keep in the nesting boxes as well. They serve a great purpose. One thing is that chickens like to lay on something while they are in there laying their eggs. So the golf balls serve as a decoy egg. Instead of having to buy a ceramic egg, this is a much cheaper option. And the second thing is as chickens start to lay eggs and kind of get used to that whole process, they tend to peck at their eggs. So loading your nesting box with a golf ball will help to break them of that bad habit. Because after a peck or two of that, they see how hard it is, they want nothing to do with it. So that's why we have golf balls in our nesting box. Guess what day it is? It's jam day.
Oh, that day.
It's jam day once again. Today is fig jam. This is a mild version of fig jam right here. And well, it doesn't have heat in it. And after the last batch of fig jam, Dragon decided to do a version that had a little bit of heat. So this one has habanero in it. It's really, really good. It has just the right amount of heat. Wouldn't you say, Dragon?
C-. We'll see what the reviews say from the customers, so just don't tell them yet.
Look at how smart we eventually got. This, this is a giant sheet of paper to catch all the splatters that you see occur when you're making jam. We have some blueberry jam on this lid, some peach jam, some fig jam.
Blueberry? You made some blueberry?
Blackberry, you know, we mix it up. You get a B word, sometimes you say the wrong one. But jamming never stops around here. We still have the fall season to go through. Big event coming up, Fall Festival here in King George County, happening in October, and that's always a great event. We went last year for the first time, but jam was a huge hit there. So we will be jamming continuously. Those bubbles right there, got to be careful because they will get you.
Right here. It's like I was at the club last night. Underage drinking.
If your grandmother ever made jam for you growing up, you should be very, very thankful because this is a very, very tedious task. Standing on your feet, lots of stirring continuously, making sure that the consistency and the flavor is correct. Not something that I think the novice will do, which is probably what makes it so special, right?
Yes, indeed. Especially towards the end, once the jam is almost done. It's really thick. And these boiling bubbles, you can see how they're popping up, and it's very, as you see, dangerous. And the splatters, you can, how high it can splash. So. But
Well worth it.
definitely.
All right, back to the stirring we go. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. So it's only been 1 day since we moved over the fence to extend it into this other area. And look at where we are now. This is insane. Like, these chickens waste no time getting to work. This ground has already been picked through. Remember how grown up and overgrown all these weeds and everything were? And this is why we love having our flock in a mobile coop, because we can just move them right on around. Like, who needs pigs or goats when you have over 200 hens to get to work for you and clear a space? This is incredible, you guys. All of that space back here, I mean, these weeds were at least this tall, you know, waist high, and you can just see how well they've just been mowing everything down. Almost looks like a lawnmower's already kind of been down through here. But who needs a lawnmower when you have this awesome laying flock that you can put wherever you need? Good job, ladies and a couple of gents. Well-deserved dinner tonight. Somebody please tell Bella I'm trying to water my plants. So you usually get to see our birds make their initial arrival down to the pasture, but you never get to see them leave the pasture. And today this is their final ride away from the orchard because it is D-Day for these guys. Time to process. You thought Bella only escorted the chicks down to the pasture. She also transported them away from the pasture. Birds have arrived at our processing station. So this is batch 1 of 2. It is 6:20 right now. So usually Dragon and I can process about 20 birds in an hour. Not sure how if we're gonna get to that second batch today, but our cones are here where they bleed out. We won't be showing any of this because YouTube doesn't like things to get too graphic. So after the birds are dispatched here in the cones, they are then placed here in boiling or hot water, I should say, because the temperature we're waiting on it to get to 150. Once it's at 150, we'll add a little bit of dishwashing soap in there. That just helps to loosen up the feathers because they're oily. Once the birds have dispatched, bled out here, they then get dunked here and then brought over to our chicken plucker here. So the way this works is we have water here that we turn on and the bottom of this spins. I will turn it on here and show you. So as this is rotating at the bottom and spinning, we're spraying water along the wall sides just to push the feathers down. And then this rotation at the bottom is pushing the birds up and against these fingers here that are just plucking that bird, and it pulls all the feathers off in about 30 seconds. So as I explained before, the birds, after they have been dispatched, get a warm bath here to loosen the feathers. And this is hot water, temperature of about 150 plus a little bit of dish soap to help loosen up those feathers. From here, it's always, we found, much easier to do 2 at a time when we place them into the plucker, because that friction against each other really helps. So Dragon just brings them on over here. Birds go in. And just in a matter of a few seconds, completely plucked clean. Well, mostly completely.
These tail feathers are usually sometimes stubborn. They pluck off very easy. Feet clean, everything clean.
So there's your bird right there. So Dragon will take these over to his station here. We are saving the feet and the necks from the chickens here, so he takes care of that. We have our ice baths here for those to go into. Simple cutting through here, always following along with the joints of the bird. That will always kind of lead you, if you've, broken down a bird at home, it's very similar to just following along with those joints. Some of the stubborn feathers, continue to pull those out. We do kind of quality control checks through this process, and then they're going to sit on ice overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow and check. This area here is an oil gland that gets cut off. This is what the chickens use to keep themselves clean. So every time you see a chicken go in the back with its beak, it's going to grab that oil from there. So this goes away, because leaving it on gives your chicken a horrible taste. So Dragon will then go through and take off the head. Comes off. That gets discarded. Then he opens up the chest cavity here, giving it a slit. And then there's a feed sac inside.
First esophagus or windpipe. And then the esophagus right there. Then the feed sac is attached to the chest meat, which is right here. Just gonna free it like that. Cut the neck off. The neck is now ready to be used for whatever use, ready for risottos. And this bird is ready for next steps, which Kevin will do in a minute.
Yep, so I take the birds over here. I do the evisceration. You can see I'm halfway through with that one. All the guts go into the bucket here. And then once I'm done with that, birds go here into their ice bath. And I mean, look at how beautiful that bird is right there. Get a better handle on it here. So that's what we're looking for right there. So these guys will sit here to bleed out. We will change out the water once we're done with everything here. Come back tomorrow, do our quality checks, and then package them up and get them ready for customers. And there you have it. The end of another beautiful week here at the farm stand. Fridge is full of chicken, ready for tomorrow. We managed to package up everything today. We got close to 60 birds this time around. All of these guys got packaged up this evening. So we have 2 refrigerators that are full of birds ready for tomorrow's pickup for our chicken special friends and also for everybody else. been another long night. It is 10:30 p.m. right now, and we still have not eaten anything for dinner. So we're gonna go inside, put some pot stickers on, have that, and then time for bed. Up early in the morning, farm stand opens at 9 a.m. So we gotta be ready and refreshed to receive our customers. Hope everybody's had a great week. If you are traveling through Virginia, coming down US 301, hitting King George, stop by and see us here at the farm. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you again real soon.